Just say what you want to say, because we've been walking around the house.
I just don't think he's attractive.
Yeah, Sarah's
at all.
like at random moments we'll be making dinner and Sarah will be like, I just don't see it. And I'm like, see what? And she's like the Ariana Grande guy. I'm like, what? Where did this come from?
I just don't. I don't know.
Deep-seated disagreements from Sarah on Ariana Grande's
I mean,
most
good for her.
choice.
If that's her true love, good for her. I wish her all the best. But, I just
physically,
don't
though,
see it.
Sarah's not in.
No. And no.
You don't want a hall pass for that guy? No? That's okay.
I'm going to pass.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You're here, you made it to us, you love romantic comedies, we do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have When in Rome. And wherever you're listening to us, please throw us a follow. If you could do one thing right this second, look down at your phone or wherever you're listening to us and just leave a review wherever you're listening. It helps more people find us. And if you also want to help out, there's one place that, a lot of conversations on this pod live on for eternity. That's on our Instagram account, at Romcom Rewind. We post a lot of stuff there. We keep you updated on what's coming next, what's happening, at Romcom Rewind on Instagram.
This week we have a message from Jennifer. She says, hello again from Nova Scotia, making my way through the rest of the episodes I've missed. I'm currently on mat leave and listening to you guys while going out for walks with my little one and puttering around the house.
Congratulations!
Yay! So happy that you reviewed The Family Stone. I watch it every Christmas along with The Holiday Inn. I also...
That's two interesting choices. I feel like Family Stone makes sense, and then The Holiday Inn, interesting. It's a little quirk.
I also thought of a few suggestions for future episodes. Down with Love, Kate and Leopold, and Center Stage. Soundtrack for Center Stage is fire, she says. Also, you guys should totally have merch. I'd love a Rom-Com Rewind coffee mug.
Okay, you know what?
I'd love to do that.
As I was just teasing our Instagram account, I think we need to put that question out on Instagram because we have talked about it a few times.
We have.
Here's the thing. Sarah knows this. You, listening to the pod, you probably know this about your friend Devin. I'm much more minimalist in that I hate to have too many things, and I can't tell you how many times I've gotten things from people, and I've been like, ugh. One of the you know what I friggin' hate?
Tell us, Devin.
I hate when I get a bad pen. If I'm at an event and you hand me a pen and it sucks, I despise your business.
Yes.
How dare you purchase lackluster pens? And conversely, if I get a good pen, I remember that business. I'm like, hey, they hand out good frickin' pens. So I'm very nervous about what kind of merch we get because it needs to be...
Well,
it needs to pass the Devin test of would I throw this out myself.
I was going to say, if they're pens, we'll make sure they're good, Devin. But I don't know if people want pens or not. So we'll do
definitely not pens, but I'm just saying as an example.
Yeah, we'll do some posts. We'll ask you what you are interested in and what
you'd like to see.
Exactly. Jennifer goes on to say, thank you for keeping this new mom sane. Can't wait to see what episodes you guys do next.
And we love to hear things about, we're new family people. We're new parents is what I meant to say. So if you have family stuff, comments, whatever, tell us all about it. When in Rome is a 2010 romantic comedy directed by Mark Steven Johnson. This is the story of Beth, a workaholic art curator who is a little bit disillusioned by love. She is played by Kristen Bell. And when Beth's little sister Joan, played by Alexis Zena, hope I'm pronouncing that right. When she gets engaged after 2 weeks, Beth ends up flying off to Italy for that wedding. This is where she meets Nick Beeman, the best man of the groom, obviously, played by Josh Duhamel. My man Josh Duhamel is back. So we get those bad French accents from Devin all pod. You're welcome. I know you've been missing them.
I have been.
Josh Duhamel is one of our love interests. And okay, so the premise of our story here today is brought on by Beth drunkenly wading her way into the Fountain of Love in Rome, which I think is a take on the Trevi Fountain. They never say Trevi Fountain, but that's what we're talking about here. And in an act of defiance against love, she starts yanking coins out of the fountain. People who were looking for love and tossing coins into the fountain. She's like, no, I'm taking this one. Unknowingly bringing upon herself a spell The owners of those 5 coins, actually, 4 coins and a chip, have now fallen in love with Beth, which is a good time to tell you about our supporting cast. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Will Arnett is in this as like a tortured artist. John Heder is a magician illusionist. Dax Shepard is our self-absorbed male model. And Danny DeVito plays the owner of a sausage company. That's
Sausage King.
He's the Sausage King. Which Danny DeVito is a perfect guy to play that character. That's your lead-in for When in Rome. What are your thoughts?
It's my bad.
When it comes to love, I've never had too much luck. But this is what the Romans call the Fontana de Amore. If you throw in a coin, you find love. So maybe if I take a few, like you, and you, and you, some of the magic will rub off on me.
What were you doing in the Fontana de Amore?
Picking up coins.
Seth, we got a problem. If you take someone's coin from the fountain, they will fall in love with you.
That is ridiculous.
Have any men come on to you since the wedding?
Beth. You're intimidated because I'm a model.
This movie is like a chaotic, funny rom-com.
Yeah.
There's like so much going on in it. But they did a good job at portraying these like silly characters.
Yeah.
Especially like the side cast. I loved, Will Arnett and John Heder. Like their characters were just outrageous, and they did a really funny job. It was good. It was fun. I think Josh Duhamel and Kristen Bell's chemistry was actually really good. Like I thought they had some chemistry.
Oh, I agree.
I believed it. I loved how it wasn't like an enemies to lovers situation.
Correct. Yes.
Where they, they hated each other. Because it's typical in like rom-coms where you see like when they're best man and maid of honor, they hate each other.
There's like a weird feud.
Yeah. I'm happy they didn't do that. And right off the bat, they liked each other and there was a spark there. I did like that. I mean, there was a little bit in the very beginning where she thought he was dating somebody, but she's very put off by love and doesn't really believe in it in the beginning of the movie. So it was a fun watch. It was a chaotic fun watch.
It is. I agree with all of that. It's fun. It's light. It's easy.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's hard to follow at times. It's kind of like if you took like a Netflix series that was about 10 episodes long and somebody randomly was like, screw it. We can tell this story in 91 minutes, guys. Let's do it. And that's what they freaking did.
Yeah.
It's like there were times where I would look down at my phone, I would look back up, and I would be like, wait, what happened? Why is she upset with him? What happened to the coins? Like, wait, so many things were happening. I think they tried to do everything in this film.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that they failed because I don't think it's that deep, guys. I think it's one of those films that are just an easy watch. This is not a Christopher Nolan epic where the dialogue matters. It's just fun and silly and kind of dumb, but it's satisfying in that way.
Yeah, it's like a lesser version and like more rom-com version of Scott Pilgrim Against the World, right? Like Scott Pilgrim.
Dare
just hear me out. Hear me out.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Sorry, versus the World. I haven't seen the movie in a while. But they were able to pack so much into it, but it was a cohesive storyline. And we went through all of his exes in a way that gave them an essence and a backstory much better than in this movie.
Yes. In Scott Pilgrim versus the World, there was a chronology to it.
Yeah.
That's X number 1. Mm-hmm. Next is X number 2. And even though they're throwing a lot of things at you, your mind can still digest it.
Correct.
In like a 1, 2, Chris Evans is number 3. That person's number 4.
Right.
Got it,
This one, everything came at you at once and you were like, okay, wait, hold on. So they're all after her. And like 4 is, there's 5, but Nick is one of them. So having 4 other suitors was a lot, I found. They could have maybe done with like 3, I think. They could have dropped 1, I think. But anyway, those are just my thoughts.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things at the same time that like I still enjoyed watching this, mostly because it's like, once again, it's not that deep. You like I missed a few things, and then it's kind of like, when
you don't miss it.
When like classic dad move, when you're watching a movie and a dad walks in and he just kind of like stands in the doorway for like 10 minutes.
Yes, my dad used to do that all the time.
And then he starts asking a few questions. In this movie, you can answer those questions in like 3 seconds flat. The coins are cursed. He loves her. It's a coin. It's a fountain. Like, oh, okay, that's it. Yeah, now she's mad at so and so. Oh, okay, all right. Like it's super easy to explain away, which is why I don't think it actually is that.
There wasn't
deep,
even really a climax of the movie. It just like it kind of rolled. It was like rolling hills. This movie.
Yeah,
you know?
It was. I agree. Let's dive into When in Rome.
So the movie opens with Beth, who is
Wait. It doesn't open with Beth, Sarah. It opens with "Kickin' With You" by who?
Oh, the song
By Jason Mraz, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
my God, remember him?
When's the last time you thought about Jason Mraz? This soundtrack, by the way, is the all-time list of when was the last time you thought about blank.
Wow. A really long time ago.
And I think we can do a quick "Where Are They Now" game because we have Jason Mraz, who is still releasing music, by the way. Guess what his last album is?
What?
Okay, 2023. He released
No.
Mystical, Magical, Rhythmical, Radical Ride.
No.
Jason Mraz.
I don't even know how to say that.
That's what he's doing, baby. Yeah.
Too long for the radio.
Yeah, hasn't gotten a whole lot of notoriety. Also in this movie, we have a 303 featuring Katy Perry song. Remember 303?
Oh, yes, I do remember that. And I watch movies with subtitles, so I did see that song come up.
303 also still in the game. They released an album back in 2021. They're still doing stuff. That's their 6th album. Yeah.
I had no idea.
We also have...
I'm sorry, that's wild. Like, you think of the height of their careers, and then it's like, and this was around when it was, right? Like 2010. And it's been 13 years.
13, exactly. Yeah. They broke onto the scene in 2007. Wow. So like 2010, we're in the heat of 303.
I actually really liked 303.
We also had a Matchbox 20 song in this movie.
Oh my God. So the soundtrack was pretty good.
The soundtrack was great. Oh, do you remember The Academy Is?
No.
Okay, they were a little bit more like on the... They did break up for a while, and now they're back together again, guys, as of 2015. So
as of 2015, so they've been together since 5 years later.
So around the time this movie dropped, actually, they broke up.
Oh.
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
They didn't make enough off the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But like a sneaky good soundtrack in this one. Anyway.
You know what? I will admit, this soundtrack didn't do anything for me.
What?
Yeah, I know.
303?
Like I said, all of these bands that you're saying, other than a few,
Jason
like
Mraz?
I like, but it's not memorable for me.
There's even an
movie.
Adele song.
Like, I think, well, I'll get to the end credits at the end of, obviously, and I'll talk about the song they chose.
When's that?
At the end.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I cut you off, though. You were actually getting into the plot.
Yes,
I was
yes, okay.
raving about music.
The movie opens
with Jason Mraz, yeah.
With Jason Mraz, as well as we meet Beth, who is a curator at an event that she has put together. She's a young curator at the Guggenheim Museum, and her boss doesn't really believe in her. And so this is kind of one of two events that she does throughout this movie where she wants to show her stuff. We find out that she's very single and seems to be married to her job. She's not really out to find love. She's been, tormented by love. She hasn't really found her person yet. We also meet some of her friends and colleagues who mistake overhearing a conversation with Beth and her ex that they're getting back together and they're now engaged, which makes for a very awkward, like, first scene, really. So that was funny. The next day, Beth finds out that her baby sister Joan, she comes to see her and tells her that she met a guy from Italy on a plane 2 weeks ago and they're engaged and they're getting married in Rome, Italy in a few days. Beth is happy for her sister, but also thinks she's making a massive mistake.
2-week engagement, ladies and gentlemen. Now,
that's short.
As we know, celebrities typically are culprits of this, getting engaged so quick.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they are.
I have for you, Sarah, the all-time list of quickest celebrity engagements. Can you think of any off the top? And you listening, play along, please. You're probably screaming something at your podcast.
Kim Kardashian?
Okay, fun fact, there are 3 Kardashians on this list. Kim Kardashian being one of them.
Okay.
Specifically with, who's the basketball player? Oh, Chris Humphries. Right,
yeah.
3 months after they started dating, they were engaged.
Oh my God.
Quick 3-month engagement. I just gave you a hint for the 2 others. Who else you think is on here?
Kylie?
Kylie is not, actually.
Not. Is it Kylie? Yeah. Wait, what's the other one? Kendall. Sorry, I always not Kendall. Kendall's not on there. She's just dating. Okay, well we have Chloe and Courtney.
Yeah, Courtney is on here. Her and Travis Barker got engaged less than a year after dating. Which
That's not too bad.
Oh no, that is totally reasonable compared to friggin' Chloe, who was with Lamar Odom, basketball player. They were engaged after 2 weeks, guys.
What? Oh my God! So this is like the exact same thing here.
Exact same thing. And I'll have you know, they're actually not the biggest culprits on this list. There are two that were quicker than that.
Okay. Let me guess. Oh my God, Ariana Grande
And Pete Davidson, they were 3 weeks of dating.
Oh my God.
Which is wild.
Which like...
and it also did not end well.
To be honest, I don't see who she's with now as like somebody who is a forever person.
Oh yeah, as of the recording of this podcast, because we know you like sometimes you wait a little bit of time to listen to the pod.
Definitely.
Right now she's dating a guy who's currently still married to his wife, but they were like separated, I guess.
Yeah.
He's in her Wicked. They're doing a Wicked thing.
They met on the set for the movie that's coming out, Wicked.
Yeah.
And she actually left her husband for him. Well, not for him. Well, who knows?
It seems that way.
But it's just like I just don't know,
Sarah,
because I know her personally. I do not. But you know, it just doesn't seem like he's her type.
Sarah, just say what you want to say, because we've been walking around the house.
I just don't think he's attractive.
Yeah, Sarah's
at all.
like at random moments we'll be making dinner and Sarah will be like, I just don't see it. And I'm like, see what? And she's like the Ariana Grande guy. I'm like, what? Where did this come from?
I just don't. I don't know.
Deep-seated disagreements from Sarah on Ariana Grande's
I mean,
most
good for
recent
her.
choice.
If that's her true love, good for her. I wish her all the best. But you know, I just
physically
don't
though,
see it.
Sarah's not in.
No, and no.
You don't want a hall pass for that guy? No, that's okay.
I'm gonna pass.
Who else do you think is on this list? Quickest engagements. There are
Britney
so
Spears.
Many. Britney Spears and Kevin Federline were quick. Yeah. Let me find them.
6 months, I think. I'm gonna guess.
3 months.
3 months.
They got engaged after 3 months.
Okay, after 3 months. Okay.
And then the trip down the aisle happened later on that year. So probably married after 6 months or something.
All right. J-Lo.
J-Lo and Mark Anthony were very quick.
Yes, they were very quick.
They were one of our quickest.
Really?
So we don't know how quick the engagement happened, but they got engaged and married within 4 months.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dog. Wow. That was fast.
That's really fast.
Still not the leader. The leader.
Okay, tell me the leader.
Okay, the leader is Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. Remember back in '95?
Yeah.
They.
Well, I mean, I don't remember, but
they were married after knowing each other. They met and were married within 4 days.
No.
4 days.
Well, there's that. Is it a documentary that's out?
There's a few.
Or
but
a film. Yeah.
There's one that deals specifically with the
that.
sex tape. Oh, you mean the sex? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about a documentary?
No, there's like a movie that came out. What, last year or the year before?
Like what I'm saying is they made a movie. Is that
I'm
what
sure
you're talking
they made a movie.
Oh, you know the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's been all kinds of stuff about them. Okay, I'll hit you with the highlights. Also on the list, Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise.
Oh,
they were engaged in about 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Katy Perry and Russell Brand were about the same.
Oh my God, that whole thing, that was really tragic.
Well, they were only married for 14 months. It's wild.
Yeah. Like tragic in the way that it was just like sad.
Another tragic one, Mariah Carey and Nick Cannon.
Oh my God. And I'm not even going to go there.
His seed.
His breeding.
How he's, yes, exactly.
Like, God. Okay,
he is irreversibly changing the genetics of the planet.
I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but Jessie. She used to do The Hills. She's now a comedian, but anyway, she is Canadian, but she did like a whole bracket of like his children and like a whole like genealogy report of like his like the girls that he's had children with, and it like broke it all down.
Oh my God.
It is something. It is a sight.
Like let's be real, guys. He should just cut out the middleman and become a sperm donor. Like, just be a sperm donor.
No, you know what? He
if that's
probably
you
is.
want.
But it's
You're right. He probably already is a sperm donor. Let's be
yeah,
real.
he probably is. But I guess like my question is like when is it to the point where it's now too much? Because you see those doctors who like
Should there be a law against how much he can reproduce?
With how many people? There's got to be somewhere. I don't know.
Oh God, that's too funny.
It's a lot.
Okay, I'm just gonna rapid fire the rest of the list here.
Yes, please.
Justin and Haley Bieber were pretty quick.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Demi Lovato and Max. They were a couple months.
And
now,
then they break up?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
quite sure. Now, by the way, now we're into like I think this is like the 6-month range. Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas, Catherine Schwarzenegger and Chris Pratt. They were about 7 months.
Yep.
Amal and George Clooney were about the same. Cameron Diaz, Benji Madden, remember that?
Oh my God. Whoa. And they're still married.
They are. Radix. That's one of their kids' names. Radix. Just throwing that out there.
Okay.
Just in case
I was like,
you're
what's
curious.
happening to you?
I always find that name to be funny. His name's Benji. His kid's name is Radix.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's your quickest engagements for celebrities.
That is very fast.
Fun facts for you. And now Joan in this movie, 2 weeks engaged.
2 weeks.
Not as
yes.
quick as Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson, but pretty close.
Pretty close. So at work, we meet Beth's boss, and we find out that Beth is in charge of a very big gala that's coming up in 9 days. And her boss is not keen on her taking vacation to go to Rome, Italy for her sister's wedding. However, she reluctantly agrees to let her go because Beth said, she's going to stay on top of everything for the event. It will go off without a hitch. Beth gets to Rome and her cab driver brings her around, showing her some of the sights from the car and on the way to the wedding, which she is late for anyway. And she also can't get service while she's there. So she can't really stay on top of the event like she said she would. At the wedding, we meet the other groomsman, or another groomsman, the best man, Nick, who is late for the ceremony as well. At the reception, she has a conversation with her dad, and we find out that they're more like kind of in love. He likes to fall in love, or I guess they're complete opposites. He likes to fall in love, and she doesn't really like falling in love, and she can't stay in love. And then her sister comes running up and says,
Come on, it's vase breaking time.
It's what?
It's a tradition. The maid of honor shatters a vase, and the number of pieces symbolizes the years of happiness she wishes for the bride and groom.
Wow, that's a lot of pressure.
Right? So smash it hard. Okay.
it doesn't go well. She tries to break it, but this is like the unbreakable vase that she ends up knocking almost an old lady out. She ends up destroying a champagne tower, and the best man steps in to embrace everything and just is there to save her.
It's a little bit of slapstick comedy there, which we do see throughout the film.
Totally like cheesy. Yeah, you'll know my cheese later on.
Well, do we have an accurate cheese rating for this movie? Well, we'll find out. When you give your cheese, we'll know if Sarah's really
Now I'm like sweating.
Understood.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I? I hope I do.
We're teasing the cheese.
So Beth has to give her speech as the maid of honor, and she's giving the speech, and she realizes nobody's really laughing at her jokes, and
They all speak Italian.
They don't really speak English, I guess. And Nick, the best man, again saves her by speaking his terrible Italian. After the speeches, Nick and Beth, they chat, and it turns out they are more similar than they thought. They have very similar thinkings when it comes to love and everything like that, and how long that Joan and Umberto are going to be married together. Later on that night, Beth finds out that Nick already has somebody because she walks out to actually go and hang out with him with some champagne and sees that he's already kissing someone else.
And this is the moment in our film. She finds that fountain, she's drinking some wine, and she is just totally disgusted with love.
Right. So she starts picking up coins and says,
Each one of you is a desperate wish for love that is never gonna come true. So I'm saving you?
and as she picks them out of the water and takes them and puts them in her purse, we see like little quick flashes to other men around the world.
Dax Shepard.
Yes, we have
Danny DeVito.
yeah.
Will Arnett.
And John Heder. Yes. And then a fifth coin, which is a poker chip. Just as Beth is about to get arrested, Nick goes outside and sees her running from the fountain and is taken aback. You can tell he's got feelings for Beth from this first meeting and encounter. Beth goes back home to New York City and Nick calls her and wants to go on a date with her, and she totally blows him off.
She wants none of it. Go away, Nick.
Yes. So later that day, she's running through the park and some man who's a painter starts running after her, asking her to see her feet so he can paint them.
Played by Will Arnett.
Which I actually thought was a pretty funny piece of the movie where like he can paint her whole body because he can dream of it. But for some reason, he can't see her feet.
And it also comes across a little like pervy, but really it's just because he didn't see like her feet in this vision, so that's where his creativity ends, I guess.
Yeah. So he ends up crashing into a horse and carriage and tells her that his name is Antonio and he's come all the way from Italy to earn her love as well as paint her feet. She is totally freaked out by it. She's like, okay, like cool, you do you, I'm leaving, goodbye. At lunch, she meets another guy named Gail, who is a model and extremely full of himself. And he also wants to earn her love, which he's very confused by as well, because he's like, I only love myself, but now I like you, like I love you more.
This is crazy. I don't know whether to look at my own reflection or at you. That's how beautiful you are.
You know what? I have to go.
Okay, you asked for it.
Whoa.
Yes, you're welcome. She's back.
You can't just take your shirt off in here.
Well, I don't hear any complaints from the peanut gallery, so...
Put your shirt back on, creep.
She then meets another man, a third man in the park, who keeps stealing her watch. And he's kind of like the illusionist magician. And again, I'm here to earn your love.
He even pulls out a fake heart at one point from his chest. Yes. Very like, you know, like those TV magicians, yes. Chris Angel, David, that kind of BS.
The ones
is what
we
he's
used
pulling.
to watch.
Yes. Oh man, I'm gonna levitate. And okay,
I'm gonna be out of here in 3 minutes, or else I'll drown. And you're like sitting on the edge of your seat. You're like, oh my god, are they gonna survive or not?
Was anybody actually sitting on the edge of their seat?
I may have been.
Oh really?
Well, I don't know. You don't know. You're a kid, and you're
God.
like, is this real? Is this not? But then as you got older, you were like, this guy's totally gonna do it. They wouldn't show somebody dying on national television. Like, hello, this isn't Niagara Falls with a barrel over the end.
Did you see David Blaine last night? He died. Isn't that
R.I.P.
As if they aired that. They had time to edit it, screen it,
Stop
put it on, and he dies?
I'm dying.
Like, how many people saw that before it went to air?
Oh, my God. Stop the stream. Stop the stream.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Okay, that was morbid.
Yeah.
Beth's sister calls her from Italy to tell her that she's on the front page of the newspaper sitting in the Fountain of Love. She tells them that, so Beth tells her and Umberto that all she was doing was sitting there drinking and she took some coins. Umberto tells her that's not a good idea. There's a legend that if you take somebody's coins from the fountain, they will fall in love with you. And of course, Beth, not believing in love, is like, yeah, no, that's not a real thing. I don't believe you. Nick shows up at her work again to try to get a date from Beth, but we also find out that the big centerpiece for her gala, her assistant kind of messed things up there and it's not going to be able to make it to the gala in time. So she's kind of freaking out all at the same time when another man comes, the fifth man, Al, who is a new patron to the company. Turns out before Beth can tell her boss that she doesn't have the piece coming, this is all happening at once, Nick chimes in and says he has a piece from Petrocelli of him and that he can donate to this event. Side note, Nick was a professional football player who was on the field playing a game and was struck by lightning. And he could sorry, I can't even say that with a straight
I know,
face.
it's such a weird story.
Can no longer play professional football because of this. And I guess Petrocelli had taken a photo of him while he was on the sidelines.
Or like drew a photo?
I don't know if it was a painter or a photographer. Yeah. So Beth is trying to, sorry, that was
who
just
knows
like, it was just
who Petrocelli is.
Yeah, we never even meet Petrocelli, but we know that he's like this big artist and everybody's like, ooh, Petrocelli. Oh my God, that's never been seen before.
And throughout the movie, people will remark to Nick like, oh, the hits. He's known as the hits.
Yeah, but they should have made it bigger, a bigger thing, you know? Like they should have really, I don't know if they were going to, They should have committed to that.
I also like, I don't know, maybe it gives him more levity and depth as a character, but I'm kind of like, why does he need to have been struck by lightning? Like,
right.
That's not pertinent to the plot. I guess like this painting comes into play, but
they could, I don't know. They could have done it a different way, I think.
like
as well.
It's such a silly. This whole film is silly, and that's fine. It knows
it is
it's
a silly movie. Yeah,
it's self-aware. Like this is kind of silly, so it's fine. It's fine.
So Beth is trying to leave work, and she's leaving through the back door, sneaking out, and Nick is there, and she ends up spraying him with like mouthwash spray.
Yeah, not mace.
Not mace, because she wasn't prepared that somebody was going to be out there waiting for her. And they end up talking, and Nick finds out why she's been so cold the last few days, and it's because she thought that he was with a girl from the wedding, but it turns out that that's just a cousin of Umberto's. When Beth gets home to her apartment, she's on the phone with her sister Joan and tells her that in order to break the curse, she needs to bring the coins back to Italy and put them in herself in the Fountain of Love. At the same time, the illusionist Lance, the magician guy, is hung upside down as a mummy and scares the crap out of her in her apartment. In her apartment. He has entered the apartment. Again, this crazy guy is mummified.
We also meet another character.
I was going to say,
point.
the best part of this scene, I actually have to say this is probably my best scene because of his appearance in this film.
Efren Ramirez plays Juan, who is like Lance's assistant. He takes video of a lot of Lance's stunts, but that is Efren Ramirez. You know him as Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite, which also stars John Heder. So it's a reunion of these two,
which is phenomenally fantastic. She ends up kicking them both out, and it's just, again, awkward, and it's really funny. Nick's friend wants to do some recon on Beth, and Nick agrees and says, like, sure, whatever. And then we kind of get like a montage of all the guys trying to show and earn Beth's love. Again, montage, Sarah Lovesies. We have Antonio, who's trying to draw murals of Beth all over the city. We have Gail, who is in a matching running outfit, who tries to jog with her one morning. We have Lance, who's like suspending himself outside the tower she works at with pigeons. Then we have Nick, who's just like the sweetest. And then we have a basket of sausage that arrives from Al. So Nick calls, and they do go on a date, and they get to the restaurant, and it's the one where you eat in the dark.
This is actually my best scene.
Okay, I'll let you take it away.
Kristen Shaw is in this as the waitress.
Funny.
She's so like
Oh my God.
deadpan, dry, sarcastic. She's great. So it's one of those you're eating in the darkness. So she brings them in. It's all of the lead in is very funny because they're like kind of complaining about the restaurant.
I hope you didn't order anything expensive because she could have switched it to a cheap bottle and we'd have no way of knowing.
Still here. And I would never do that. Ever.
Are you going to be there the whole meal or?
No, of course not. I'm going to let the two of you get to know each other on a deeper level. And I'm going to go touch other people in the restaurant.
I'm still here, by the way.
That was so funny. You're still here.
But the way we get real into hilarity in this scene is that, of course, so Beth and Nick, they can't see anything. The waitresses and the staff all have night vision goggles on, as do the people who steal themselves into the restaurant, being all of the love interests. Lance, Gail,
Al.
I'm missing who Dax Shepard is. No, that's
Antonio.
Gail. Oh, Antonio as well. Yeah. They all kind of make their way in there. It becomes just total bedlam of them being like, I'm going to fight Nick. And like, where are you, my love? And just total chaos.
Let me see
bedlam.
your feet.
Oh my God. You know what? I want to talk a little bit about Dax Shepard.
Okay.
I'm sure this is going to be in your quick facts, but Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell married happily for years. They've got children. And obviously they met and fell in love on the set of this movie, When in Rome, which is hilarious.
Yes, it
like
is.
the fourth love interest is the one that Kristen Bell was like, I like him.
I choose you.
It is not uncommon, though, for co-stars to meet on set and then fall in love.
Okay.
Can you think of any off the top of your head?
I mean, the biggest one
I've got the all-time
that
list
I
in
can
front of
think
me.
of is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Yeah. Because at the time, Brad Pitt was married to Jennifer Aniston.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds.
Where did they meet? Oh, they met on Green Lantern.
They met on Green Lantern.
I forgot about that, but I knew that.
Most people forgot about that movie, but that is where they met. Yeah. And then I'm going to throw out a Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, that 70s show.
That 70s show.
Absolutely.
And they didn't date for a long time.
Oh,
but
I know. It was
technically-
heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking.
I'm so happy they found each other again.
Kelso and Jackie, guys.
Oh, goodness.
Ava Mendes and Ryan Gosling.
Ava Mendes and Ryan Gosling. That's right. Which movie again?
The Place Beyond the Pines.
I thought so. I
in
knew it was
2012.
Pines. I
Yeah.
knew it was Pines. Yes.
Oh, this one I love so much.
Okay.
Yeah, from Game of Thrones. Can you think of them?
Game of Thrones. Oh, Kit Harington and
nothing,
Rose. I
Jon
can't
Snow.
remember her last
Rose
name.
Leslie.
Leslie, yes,
good
that's
job.
right.
Lauren Morelli and Samira Wiley. They were from Orange Is the New Black.
Okay.
Oh, Leighton Meester
Oh, yeah.
and Adam Brody.
Yes, the OC.
They met on the set of
Woo!
OC.
Oh,
Look
my
at
God.
them.
Yes, I love their love. I love their love.
Just love. Oh, we talked about these two not long ago. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. They, of course.
Oh, my God. Yes, they are the ultimate love.
Met on the set of... There was I Know What You Did Last Summer. They also, I mean, a couple years later, they were already dating. But we talked about this in the episode of She's All That.
Mm-hmm, yeah, we did. Yeah.
That film, She's All That, shot in the same high school as
Yes,
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
And there is that 1 second scene, or like 5 second scene,
Yeah,
where
where
Sarah
she's
Michelle
in.
Gellar has the cameo.
Yeah.
It's because, theoretically, like the sets, it's the same set place. So I guess technically they met again, but they were already dating at the time. Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith were on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air together.
Oh, I did not know that. I didn't know how they met. So there you go. I learned something new.
We also have, this one is in the history books as like one of the least liked romantic comedies of all time, but it did bring us Bennifer. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez. They met on the set of Gigli back in 2001.
Yeah. Do we like them together? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the consensus is there.
You're right. I don't know what the consensus is.
I'm kind of like indifferent. I mean, this is round 2, you know?
I did like that they got back together, but all like the video that people take of Ben
Yes.
Affleck, he seems like
miserable.
He does.
So like part of me is just like, I don't know. Like when is it going to happen that they're going to split? So like that's kind of why I'm just like, I'm very indifferent to them being together. It's not like, yay, they found and rekindled their love. It's just like, okay, great for you guys. You know, like, I don't know.
And then shout out to Caitlin Olsen and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is still on actually, but they are like two of the main characters in the show, and they met on the show, and they became an item
together.
like 2 years into the show, and now the show's continued on for quite a many seasons, and they've been together the whole time.
Aw, that's cute.
That is cute. It's also like, I'm sure the producers, because I know Rob McElhenney is a big part of the show. Like, I'm sure he is one of the producers or creators. But I'm sure like it's one of those things that it's like you start dating one of your co-stars.
Yeah.
A couple years into a series, you're like,
That's oof. We're
can't-
gonna have to kill her off. I don't know.
exactly. Like, what happens when we break up, guys? Like that can go very poorly.
You can't go into it thinking you're gonna break up, right?
You're right. You're right. And they still haven't. That hasn't happened. So yeah, you're right.
Good.
So
So Joan calls Beth and tells her that there's another way to break the spell. All she has to do is return the coins to the men themselves, and it will return the love. Stacy is there as well, her assistant or her colleague, and says under her breath that it's for her own good and steals the coins. So now Beth can't give the coins back because she doesn't have them. Someone knocks on the door and it's all 4 of the men. She invites them in and she tells them that, you know, they don't love her, that they're saying, you know, you love me. But she blurts out, I am actually in love with someone else. She says she loves Nick. And then Beth goes to give the coins back and realizes that Stacy stole them, so she can't return their love. They take Antonio's tiny little car and get to the museum in time. This was like the ultimate cheese for me. This was too cheesy for me. I was like, there's no way that this little clown car made its way from Italy 2 days later. Like, what, did you take a ship here? Did you fly it here?
it's a great
No.
question, Sarah.
I have lots of questions.
Yeah, and I don't think there is an answer. I think
No, there's definitely not an
put
answer.
it in the pile of
He packed it in his suitcase. That's how small this thing is.
This is the ultimate, it's not that deep, guys.
Yeah,
kind of movie.
yeah. Don't ask questions you don't want answers for.
How did the car get there? So, you know what? It's not that deep. It's magic. It's rom-com magic. It made it there. But you're right. Great question that I never even thought of.
Yeah, like so much so it's so small that it goes like into the museum and up the elevator. And like there's this like awkward scene where there's like a man in the elevator with them and it's like elevator music happening as they're waiting to go up the floor. Like it was funny, but like too cheesy. They get to the event and she gets off and the photo of Nick or the painting of Nick is at the event is a massive success. It is just, she's blown everybody away. Her boss Celeste comes up to her and says like, you are such a fantastic curator. So everything's coming up, Beth. Beth calls Nick and tells him that she wants to thank him for making her believe in love again. Then he rushes to see her. Beth gives all the coins back. She finally has them back from Stacy. And she gives all the coins back to the men. As she gives them back, they kind of come back to reality and realize, oh my gosh, like I don't love you, Beth, but you've helped me realize this. You've helped me realize this. And it was very cute. That was a sweet scene. I did think that was really nice.
It was, honestly. It was very heartfelt.
The last chip goes down the museum. This like goes down like this like stairwell of a museum and Beth chases it all the way down to the bottom where Nick picks it up. And it turns out he wasn't under a spell and that he actually does in fact still love her.
Dun, dun, dun.
So all this time Beth had thought that the poker chip was Nick's. And in this moment she realizes that it wasn't Nick's and he is in fact in love with her. So I love a good ending, you know that. And they get married in Italy of all places. I don't know why they'd go back to that fountain.
Very strange, and actually it's funny because somebody else ends up getting a hold of that poker chip. And the whole time he is acting very strangely. It's the priest.
Yes.
The priest, when he's marrying them, is like, does anybody have any objections? Anybody at all? We realize earlier in the film there was some foreshadowing that Nick and the priest, they were playing poker the night before. It was the priest's poker chip. It was the priest's
poker chip. So for over like a year, essentially, probably, all of these feelings were in the priest, but he couldn't, they were tempting him. And because he's a priest, he can't act on them. So he was just tormented for all that time leading up to the wedding. And finally, when he gets the chip, he's freed and he starts yelling, I'm free, I'm free.
He's free of temptation is what he says.
Yes.
And then Beth and Nick kiss and that's our film.
Yes, and then we have the end credits dance sequence.
Oh, great end credits.
Yes. You know what, though? I liked the music that they chose, but with the soundtrack that they had, I kind of wish that they would have chosen something else, maybe? I don't know. I kind of liked the classic piece that they chose, but I don't know. I was conflicted.
Listen, no matter what your movie is, it can be good, bad, terrible. If you have a end credit cast crew dance sequence,
I know. You can't ask for anything better.
In.
I know, me too.
I don't care if it is cheesy. It's so much fun, especially a film like this. It's fun. It's simple. Let's just have a good time.
Yeah, I still think my favorite is Hitch, the end of the movie for Hitch.
Oh, Hitch was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man. Well, it's because Ava Mendes and Will Smith are just such good dancers is the thing.
Yeah.
That's what really
they are.
I think Bend It Like Beckham has the best because it's all of the
I forgot about that one.
All of like the mothers in their saris and stuff are dancing along. It's so good. Yeah, the aunties.
Yeah.
Quick facts.
The Trevi Fountain is reputed as the fountain of love in Rome. People throw coins into it to have their wishes granted in matters of the heart. In fact, it is an offense to try to steal coins from the fountain because it is the equivalence of stealing other people's wishes. Dax Shepard appears as one of Kristen Bell's would-be suitors. After this movie, Shepard and Bell married. While standing in the Fountain of Love at the beginning of the film, Beth looks down at the coins. Although she is in Rome, most of the change is in U.S. currency.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
I never noticed that.
In the film, Beth is 29 and 2 years older than Nick, who is 27. In real life, Kristen Bell is 7.5 years younger than Josh Duhamel. Than Josh Duhamel.
Duhamel.
A few months A few months into their relationship, Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell were riding around on a motorcycle and Bell's leg got burned. During the scene in which Beth was in the fountain, under her dress was actually a garbage bag to protect her wound.
Why a garbage bag? That seems like overkill.
It's like when you break your wrist and you want to shower, you got to put a bag over it when you have a cast on.
Oh,
so she probably had some like medical gauze and stuff on. She had a burn.
That makes more sense. When you come out swinging with a garbage bag, it makes me think, yeah.
Well, it's waterproof, right?
I guess so.
After her return from Rome, Beth receives a phone call from her sister Joan, informing her that she is front page news due to her climbing into the fountain of love. A cutaway shows a newspaper with the headline Stupidimisia. No,
Stupidimisia.
Stupidimisia. This translates not simply as stupid, but rather as the pinnacle of stupidity.
Oh, that's like okay.
John Heater's character, a Goth Street magician, was a parody of famous illusionist Chris Angel in both looks and magic tricks performed.
Oh, I thought it was David Blaine, but maybe he wasn't big enough at the time.
I don't know. The scenes in the Guggenheimer Museum were filmed during an actual exhibit. The exhibit was called I Want to Believe. The cars in the main entrance suspended from the roof was a piece entitled Inopportune. Stage 1. The tigers with arrows protruding from them is Inopportune Stage 2. And the taxidermy wolves, which the coin rolls between Beth and as she runs after it, is a piece entitled Head On. The gallery's final main piece, a photo by Petrocelli entitled Anguish, was named after the movie's production designer, Kirk M. Petrocelli. Bill Hader was considered for the role of Nick.
Oh, I could see it a little bit.
I don't know.
I could see him more as the street magician,
yes,
to be honest.
Me too. Lance's assistant, Juan, is played by Efren Ramirez, John Heater's co-star from Napoleon Dynamite.
I mean, what a throwback to Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh my God, I know. When I saw him, I was like, oh, the duo, they're back together again.
And it's funny because he also played Dax Shepard's like little minion in Employee of the Month.
Oh, he did.
He's kind of like the other guy for both of these
Yes.
guys.
The last movie with John Heater and Efren Ramirez, Napoleon Dynamite, prominently featured the song The Promise, performed by the band When in Rome. This is the second Touchstone Pictures movie with Kristen Bell. You Again was the first one. John Heater and Danny DeVito both collaborated with James Wood in many animated films before and after this film. DeVito collaborated with Woods in Hercules from 1997 as the voices of Philocrates and Hades, respectively, and Heater collaborated with Woods in Surf's Up in 2007 as the voices of Chicken Joe and Reggie Belafonte, the Marine Otter, respectively, and Bling in 2016 as the voices of Wilmer and Victor, respectively. The Trevi Fountain was also in the movie The Change Up with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman.
Honorable mentions. I
actually really liked, and I think my honorable mention is that they weren't enemies to lovers, which I mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast. So that's going to be my honorable mention, is the whole enemies to lovers things was not necessary in this movie, and I'm happy they didn't do it.
I'm going to honorably mention all of the love interests, the actors.
Right.
Because Will Arnett is fantastic. Remember 2010, around this time, Arrested Development was...
I was going to say, was this Arrested Development?
I think it was in Arrested Development years. Job Bluth, so funny. And he really brings that kind of energy. John Heater, so funny, especially with Efren Ramirez as his person. And the last one, Dax Shepard. Dax Shepard's so funny.
He is funny. He plays like a very similar role in all of them. But
he's kind of like, and this is a compliment to Dax Shepard. Dax, if you're listening, it's a compliment. He plays the slimy comedic role a lot. Like in Employee of the Month, he is kind of like that, like... He's unsavory, but he's funny, and he delivers it in a way that it's like, I get that I'm not supposed to like this character, and I don't. And he's funny while he does it, and that's all you want in that role.
Yeah, I agree.
And now, what should have been kind of leans into that.
Yes. Okay. So I want to play who else could have played the characters.
I've got a few.
And when I say this, it's like the suitors. not including Nick, because I think Josh Duhamel was very well cast for this. And like, I liked their chemistry with Kristen. I liked his chemistry with Kristen Bell.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so we have Will Arnett he played Antonio.
Okay, I've got 2 for Will Arnett.
All right, who are your?
Why don't you start?
Okay, so who else could have played the characters? I think Chris Pine could have played him.
Oh, interesting. I think he could have. Yeah, I think you're right. 2010, yeah, I like Chris Pine. I've got Jason Sudeikis for him.
Oh my God,
I think
yes.
Jason Sudeikis could pull it off.
You know what? I do find sometimes they have similar roles, so I would agree with that.
100%. And the other person I'm going to throw out there, and it's a little too early for him.
Okay.
Because New Girl started in 2011. Oh. But Lamorne Morris,
yes,
I think would have been.
I love him.
I love Lamorne Morris.
I freaking love him.
I think he's so funny.
Okay, so let's do this as no time frame.
Okay, no time frame.
If they did it today, if they did it in 2010, whatever, no time frame for who could play.
I'm also just picturing Lamorne Morris doing like a bad Italian accent the whole movie, and then at the end being like, "Oh, I'm from New Jersey." You know, like, yeah. I think that would be so funny.
Oh God, yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay, so Dax plays Gale.
Yeah, I've got somebody for him.
Okay, so I have Dane Cook. Only because he was opposite an Employee of the Month, and they had such and Dane Cook is not doing anything these days.
Right.
But I do think he could have played the whole like stuck up model. He's not super good looking, which makes it even better.
So that's what I'm wondering. Like Dax Shepard was pretty cut up for this role. Like say what you will, he was, yeah. He was. So I was picturing somebody who would look funny next to Danny DeVito and who was cut up. So I was like, could The Rock play like just somebody who's like
think
massive,
of The Rock?
you know?
I did think of The Rock, yes. And I also have Donald Glover as in the thing because I think he could have played a good like model stuck up kind of thing.
I like Donald Glover. I just worry he's too likable. Like I
that's a good
worry
point.
that I would end up rooting for him.
Yeah. You almost don't want to. It's just like he smiles and it's just like, oh my God.
Oh, what a sweet guy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, maybe he's too sweet for the role.
And then we've got Danny DeVito as Al. I don't have anything for him.
Okay, if they wanted to go, I have 2, which is a weird thing because they were both in a movie together, and this isn't the reason why I chose them, but I do think that they'd be good for the role. So if they wanted to go a younger Sausage King, which I think would be pretty funny for like somebody to be like a sausage king for an empire, sausage empire.
Yeah,
I think Zac Efron
sausages.
would be really funny.
Oh, Zac Efron.
Yes,
okay.
I think Zac Efron would do a really good job. I could also see him as Gale though too. Who Dax Shepard played.
Yes, 100%.
Or we have Robert De Niro. They were both, now Zac Efron and Robert De Niro were both in Bad Grandpa.
I like De Niro,
but
actually.
I think Robert De Niro, if they wanted to continue with, like if Danny DeVito wasn't available and they wanted to continue with the older man, I think Robert De Niro would have done a good job. Because just, with his like, pulling on the Fockers whole situation with his like, me. I think he could have done a good job with the whole
me. Yeah, that's exactly what we know of the Fockers.
Well,
yeah.
you know what I mean? That like you're not in the circle. Like,
listen, Focker.
the circle of trust. And then we have John Heder, played by Lance, the illusionist or the magician.
I've got so I always compare these two people, and I think they could both play the magician, but I always compare Jack Black, who I think could do it.
I think he could have done a really good job.
Jack Black could have done it fantastically. And Adam Devine.
Adam Devine. Okay. Oh, he could have done a good job too.
Absolutely. Who did you think?
I have
was
Adam
gonna say?
Driver, a little dark, edgy.
Oh, oh man, a little bit more smolder in there. I like it. Oh, Adam Driver needs to do like a proper rom-com.
I think he does. I think it would lighten up his characters he's chosen so far.
Because he feels too much like Professor Snape right now. Like we've already cast him in the new Harry Potter series. Has anybody confirmed that? Or
I was just about to
they're
say.
Just like Adam Driver's going to do it.
Does he know he's going to be in it?
He's just too much Snape. Like,
yeah. They're going to play this role.
And now overall rewatchability. So I've got chemistry. Sarah, you're right. I did like the chemistry, especially with my man, mi amor, Josh Duhamel. 3.8 for chemistry. Thirst factor, a 3. Soundtrack, a perfect 5 out of 5. Cheese, a 2 out of 5. I think we all knew that was coming. Here's my distinction with this film, though. Mm-hmm. I think it is very imaginative. So I'm going to give imagination a 3.7. Storyline, though, the storytelling part of it doesn't quite hit. I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 5. But like I said, that's the essence of this film. It's not like it's fun, it's silly. If you actually like try to focus in on like, okay, what's happening? Why did that happen? Is that a plot hole? The answer is probably yes, it's a plot hole, you know? Like,
yeah,
and it's
totally
fine. That's the world that this film lives in, and it still is enjoyable to watch. So I've got a 3.16, which is still an enjoyable to watch score.
Okay, my rewatchability is chemistry 4, storyline 2.4, because I do agree. It was very chaotic. Thirst factor 3.8, imagination 3.7, soundtrack 3.5, because again, great soundtrack, but I can't remember a lot of the songs that were in there. I know you said it, but
Jason
just
Mraz.
while I was watching it, it didn't
20.
touch my heart, you know? Cheese 2 for an overall score of 3.2 out of 5.
That soundtrack score is abhorrent, Sarah.
That's fine.
It is reprehensible. This has been the Rom-Com Rewind of When in Rome. Wherever you're listening, make sure you throw us a follow, give us a review, and follow us on Instagram at Rom-Com Rewind.
Thanks for listening.